Sanjoki very kindly gifted this 120 set of alcohol markers, and I'm going to test them out, unbox them and give you my initial thoughts on them. There was no obligation to share, but I just wanted to see what these were like and bring you along for the journey. This is such a nice case. I was not expecting this from the box. When I got the box through, I thought that it looked a little bit faded, but this little case is such nice quality. Wow, look at all of those colours. There's so many in here. Look at all of those. They look really well packaged, and then you also get a marker book, so an A5 size marker book, which will come in really handy. So you get 20 sheets of that in total, and you get a colour chart. Excellent. So I will be swatching each of those colours and then giving you an idea of how they look. And I believe this whole thing looks as though it opens up fully. There we go. It comes with one of these protective sheets so that the alcohol markers don't bleed through onto the next page. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I really love how not only do they come in that fabric bag, but they also come in these little boxes which have got individual spaces for each of the marker pens to sit in. So you could have them out on your desk if you wanted to, and you wouldn't need to buy anything additional to actually put them in, which I think is absolutely genius, because the other sets of alcohol markers that I have, which I do really love, they don't come with anything like this that you can use all, you know, all included. So I think that's a really good benefit of buying these actual marker pens. I'm so impressed by them so far. I'm going to swatch them and then we'll see what the colours are like. So this is what the pens look like. They are a fully cylindrical pen. Some of the other pens that I've seen before and I actually own are sort of square, so they can be a bit uncomfortable to use. The ones that I've got have got the chiseled nib, and then they have got the brush nib on the other. So I am going to swatch these. First one up is the colourless blender, so we'll see how that looks. I actually noticed that a few of the lids on the alcohol markers didn't quite match up with the swatch once I had tested it out, so they could perhaps spend a little bit more time trying to colour match those a little bit better. So if you aren't going to be working from your colour swatch or your colour chart, you can reach for a colour and be pretty confident that it's going to be the correct one. So that's one area that I would maybe consider. So colours are complete on this side, and I think they're looking really good so far. I really love the blues and the greens down in this section here. Okay, all of the colours are fully swatched, and I feel like there are quite a lot of pinky tones which could have been a little bit more purple. However, I think that the blues and the greens are absolutely beautiful, and I do like all of these greys down here. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate how lovely these all look now that they are in number order? One thing I do wish though is that the greys were also within a number system. They all have quite similar letters at the beginning of them, so it could get a little bit confusing, but I do love how nice these now look, that they are in number order, and that pleases me very much. Now I was very pleased to find that this set came with a little A5 sketchbook, so you can get started straight away on using these markers without having to go out and buy an additional sketchbook. And it also does come with that little plastic backing that you can put in between the sheets of the paper, so it doesn't then bleed across onto the next page in that little sketchbook. Now for my drawing today, I have decided to go slightly festive, and I'm going to be drawing a mug of hot chocolate, or it could be a mug of whatever your favourite hot drink is at this time of year, filled with a few garnishes to make it look nice and festive. And I think that this one can be enjoyed by anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be relating to Christmas, it could just be a nice wintry drink. As you may know, I am fairly new to alcohol markers, and I'd consider myself to be quite a beginner when it comes to using alcohol markers. I am still learning how to use them, and I found these ones to be very beginner friendly, which I think is really important when trying a new medium, is that they're really accessible to whoever is using them. I feel like this is a really good set of alcohol markers for anybody that wants to kind of dip their toe into the world of alcohol markers without spending an absolute fortune on them. These ones are retailing at £46.80 at the moment on Amazon, and I think that they would make an absolutely brilliant Christmas present or gift in general, because they do come in that really nice fabric case and is packaged really nicely within that, and I think that it would be a very much appreciated gift. If you are interested in helping support me in any other way, then please do check out my Instagram and also my link for my Buy Me a Coffee, so that I can keep you up to date with what I've been up to and maybe give you a few sneak peeks on what I've been doing. I really enjoyed how well these pens blended together. I used the colourless blender a little bit, however I felt like I didn't really need to use it all that much because I was creating quite a few layers with the alcohol markers and trying to use those without the need for that colourless blender. I would say I am a beginner, so I am still learning how to use these pens, but I did find them incredibly easy to blend, which I think is a huge positive. I enjoyed some of the darker colours that I was able to achieve on that candy cane, so the darker reds, and then I've got that sort of more vibrant red on the outer part of it. Then within the sort of whipped cream on top, I quite enjoyed how I managed to get some of the darker tones in them to make it look slightly more subtle. I found that they were very enjoyable to use. One of the things that I found quite difficult when using them was the strong scent. They were quite strong in the smell whilst I was using them, so I had to take a few little breaks just because I did find that they had quite a strong fragrance. I often find though that I do have quite sensitive nose to some smells, and for me personally I just needed to take a few little breaks in the middle of the drawing, because I did find after a while that the smell of these was quite strong. But then that might be the case for alcohol markers across the board. And I think as well, if you are a beginner, these pens would be a really good way to build up your skill level and not feel like you can't use them, or you feel like you're put off of using alcohol markers because they're so expensive. You don't want to ruin them, or you just don't want to use them and make a mistake. So I think these ones are really good beginner friendly alcohol marker. I've really enjoyed using these alcohol markers, and I would just like to say thank you again to Sanjoki for sending them to me and gifting these pens. I have really enjoyed using them, and I really appreciate you thinking of me and sending them to me, so thank you so much. If you're interested in buying a set for yourself, I will link them in the description box so you can go and check them out. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you never miss one of my future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!